Across our planet, life flourishes in the most unlikely of places, from the sun-scorched plains of Africa, where the air shimmers with heat and the ground cracks beneath relentless rays, to the frozen heart of Antarctica, a realm where the world is painted in endless white, and silence is broken only by the wind's mournful howl. These two environments, though polar opposites in climate, present their inhabitants with the same fundamental challenge: survival against the odds, where every day is a test of adaptation and endurance. In the vast African savanna, a world of golden grasses and shimmering heat, an intricate dance between predator and prey unfolds daily. Lions, cloaked in tawny camouflage, move with silent precision through the tall grass, their eyes fixed on a distant herd of antelope. The antelope, ever alert, flick their ears and stamp their hooves, reading the subtle signals of danger carried on the wind. Here, strength, speed, and social bonds are the currency of life. A lion pride's unity is its greatest weapon, each member playing a role in the hunt, while cheetahs rely on breathtaking acceleration, their bodies built for explosive bursts that can turn the tide of a chase in seconds. Every sunrise brings a new struggle for food, water, and safety under the immense open sky. As the first light spills across the plains, herds gather at shrinking waterholes, their survival dependent on finding sustenance before the heat becomes unbearable. The air hums with the tension of existence, where every rustle in the grass could signal either a meal or a sudden end. A hidden lioness inches forward, muscles coiled, while a nearby gazelle freezes, senses straining for the faintest hint of movement. This is a realm governed by the ancient laws of nature, a testament to the resilience of creatures forged in fire and dust. Elephants, the giants of the savannah, march across parched earth in search of water, their memories guiding them to hidden springs that have sustained generations. In stark contrast, the Antarctic continent offers a different kind of trial. Here the landscape is a frozen labyrinth of glaciers and ice fields, stretching as far as the eye can see. It is a world sculpted from ice and snow, a frozen desert where the wind howls with a force that can shape landscapes and test the limits of endurance. Blizzards sweep across the land, erasing all traces of life in a matter of moments. Here, temperatures plummet to unimaginable lows, and the land itself seems hostile to life. The cold is a constant adversary, seeping into every crevice, demanding ingenious solutions from those who call this place home. Yet even in this desolate expanse, a remarkable community of animals thrives. Emperor penguins gather in dense colonies, their bodies pressed together in a living shield against the biting wind, while seals sprawl across the ice, conserving precious energy. They are equipped with extraordinary adaptations, from thick layers of blubber that insulate against the cold to dense, waterproof feathers that trap warmth and repel icy water, all designed to defy the relentless cold. Penguins huddle in shifting formations, rotating from the outer edge to the center, sharing warmth and ensuring the survival of the group. The struggle here is not just against other animals, but against the very elements. Seals must navigate treacherous ice flows and frigid waters, timing their dives to avoid predators lurking beneath the surface. Survival depends on an intimate knowledge of the ice and the sea, and a deep-seated instinct to cooperate against the overwhelming power of the polar wilderness. Orcas, the apex hunters of these waters, work together in sophisticated teams, using coordinated tactics to outwit their prey. The creatures of these two realms, the African giants and the Antarctic survivors, are living masterpieces of evolution. Each is a product of countless generations, shaped by the demands of their environment. In Africa, we witness the raw power of the lion's pride, their roars echoing across the plains as a declaration of territory and unity. The explosive speed of the cheetah, a blur of motion as it closes the gap between life and death in a matter of heartbeats. And the collective might of an elephant herd, their trunks entwined in greeting, their massive bodies forming a living fortress around their vulnerable young. In Antarctica, we see the unwavering dedication of the emperor penguin, parents taking turns to shield their chicks from the cold, enduring months without food as they wait for the return of the sun. The formidable prowess of the leopard seal, a solitary hunter gliding beneath the ice, its senses honed to detect the faintest movement above. And the gentle intelligence of the great whales, navigating vast icy oceans, their songs echoing through the deep as they migrate between feeding and breeding grounds. Each species has developed a unique set of skills, a specialized toolkit for navigating its world, whether through cunning teamwork, breathtaking physical abilities, or sheer unyielding resilience. These animals are masters of their domains. These animals demonstrate what it takes to persist when the odds are stacked against them, offering profound lessons in adaptation and perseverance. Mothers shield their young from danger, herds band together to repel predators, and every individual is a testament to the will to survive. This essay will journey into these two extreme worlds, exploring the remarkable strategies that enable life to endure. We will witness the drama of survival played out on the grandest of stages, where every adaptation is a story written in the language of necessity. We will compare the intricate hunting techniques of African predators, from the silent coordination of a lion pride to the lightning-fast pursuit of a cheetah, with the specialized survival tactics of Antarctic fauna, such as penguins tobogganing across the ice to conserve energy, and seals using floating ice as both refuge and hunting ground. We will examine how herbivores on the savanna defend their young, forming living barriers against prowling predators, and how the youngest must learn the rules of survival from their very first steps, and how penguins raise their chicks in the coldest place on Earth, balancing eggs on their feet and sheltering them beneath a warm fold of skin, braving the long, sunless winter. Finally, we will turn our gaze to the growing threats these magnificent animals face, not from their natural rivals, but from the far-reaching impact of a changing world. As the climate shifts and habitats transform, the delicate balance of survival is tested as never before. It is a story of struggle, ingenuity, and the fragile beauty of life in the planet's most demanding landscapes, a reminder of the urgent need to protect these irreplaceable natural wonders and the extraordinary creatures that call them home. The African savanna is a grand stage where the drama of survival unfolds in a tapestry of cunning, power, and delicate balance. Here, every creature, from the mightiest predator to the smallest scavenger, plays a vital role in the intricate web of life. Each day, the golden grasslands witness a symphony of strategy as animals adapt, cooperate, and compete in a world shaped by instinct and necessity. At the forefront are the lions, the only truly social cats, whose strength lies in their unity. Their presence is felt across the plains, a force that shapes the very behavior of the herds they hunt. A pride of lions is a highly organized family unit where every member has a role. The bonds between them are forged through grooming, play, and shared responsibility, creating a formidable alliance that is unmatched among the great cats. The lionesses, sleeker and more agile than the males, are the architects of the hunt. Their movements are synchronized, a silent language of glances and gestures guiding them through the tall grass. They fan out, encircling their chosen prey, sometimes a powerful Cape buffalo, other times a swift zebra. Each lioness knows her place in the formation, working in concert to outmaneuver even the most vigilant quarry. Using the tall grasses as cover, they move with patience and precision, their bodies pressed low to the earth. A flick of a tail, a twitch of an ear, these are the signals that trigger the final charge as one lioness bursts forth, driving the panicked prey into the waiting jaws of her pride. This cooperative effort allows them to bring down animals far larger and stronger than any single lion could hope to subdue. The kill is shared, not only among the pride, but with a host of other creatures who depend on the leftovers for their own survival. In contrast, the cheetah is the epitome of solitary speed. Alone, it glides across the open plains, its slender form built for breathtaking acceleration. With a heart pounding like a drum, the cheetah can surge from stillness to over 60 miles per hour in mere seconds. Its chase is a blur of motion, a test of both predator and prey. Unlike the lions, cheetahs hunt beneath the blazing sun, relying on their keen eyesight to spot antelope or gazelle from afar. Their solitary nature means every hunt is a personal gamble, a race against exhaustion and the ever-watchful eyes of rivals. The cheetah's distinctive black tear marks running from eye to mouth are thought to shield its vision from the sun's glare, sharpening its focus on the distant, darting forms of prey. The hunt is a spectacle of athleticism, a silent, measured stalk followed by an explosive sprint. In these moments, the cheetah's world narrows to a single target, every muscle straining for the final decisive pounce. But this speed comes at a price. The cheetah, spent and vulnerable after the chase, must rest before it can eat. In these precious moments, the scent of fresh blood draws other predators, lions, hyenas, who may steal the prize, leaving the cheetah hungry but alive to run another day. The leopard, another of Africa's great cats, is a master of stealth and ambush. Its world is one of shadows and silence, where patience is the greatest weapon. Cloaked in a beautifully spotted coat, the leopard melts into the dappled light of trees and rocks. Its solitary existence demands secrecy, for survival depends on remaining unseen. With astonishing strength, the leopard hauls its kill, sometimes heavier than itself, high into the branches. Here, above the reach of scavengers, it can feed in peace, the bounty of its patience secured. This remarkable behavior not only protects the leopard's meal, but also provides a lifeline for other tree-dwelling creatures who scavenge the remains once the feast is over. In this way, the leopard's success ripples through the ecosystem, nourishing many. The leopard's patience is legendary. It may wait for hours, motionless in the shadows, until the perfect moment arrives to strike, its presence revealed only in the final, fatal leap. Often misunderstood, the spotted hyena is far more than a scavenger. It is a cunning and resourceful predator, its intelligence matched only by its adaptability. Hyenas live in large, complex clans, where cooperation and competition intertwine. Their social bonds are strong, and their collective strength makes them formidable hunters. Working together, hyenas use stamina and teamwork to run down prey over vast distances. Their hunts are relentless, their strategies ever-evolving as they adapt to the movements of the herds. Their jaws, among the most powerful in the animal kingdom, can crush bone with ease. This ability allows them to consume nearly every part of a carcass, leaving little to waste and ensuring that nutrients are returned to the land. Hyenas are also bold opportunists, unafraid to challenge even the lions for a meal. Through sheer numbers and unyielding aggression, they often succeed, shifting the balance of power on the savannah. Their laughter-like calls echo across the plains, a language of warning, celebration and coordination. These vocalizations bind the clan together, guiding them through the darkness and uniting them in purpose. In this wild symphony, every strategy, every relationship, and every adaptation is a note in the music of survival. From the silent stalk of the leopard to the communal strength of the hyena, the savannah thrives on the interplay of predator and prey, hunter and scavenger, each dependent on the other in the endless dance of life. On the vast African plains, every sunrise marks the beginning of a new struggle for survival. For the herbivores, life is a delicate balance between grazing in peace and remaining ever watchful, their senses finely tuned to the faintest hint of danger. Here, unity is not just a choice, it is a necessity, woven into the very fabric of their existence. These magnificent animals have developed a breathtaking array of defensive strategies, each one perfected over countless generations. The herd is their shield, a living fortress where every member plays a vital role. When one senses a threat, a ripple of alertness passes through the group, and in an instant hundreds of eyes and ears are focused, ready to respond as one. Among these giants, the African elephant stands as a symbol of collective strength. Their immense size is matched only by the depth of their social bonds, which are forged through years of shared experience and mutual care. Elephants live in close-knit matriarchal families, where the wisdom of the elders guides the young. Each interaction, whether a gentle touch of trunks or a reassuring rumble, reinforces the ties that bind them together. In times of hardship, these bonds become their greatest asset. When danger looms, the herd transforms. Mothers and aunts instinctively form a protective circle around the calves, their bodies a living barrier against any would-be attacker. The adults face outward, tusks gleaming, trunks raised in warning, a united front that few predators dare to challenge. An adult elephant standing shoulder to shoulder with its kin is a force of nature. Their coordinated defense, combined with their intelligence and sheer power, creates an almost impenetrable wall. Even the most determined predator must weigh the risk of facing such a formidable alliance. Zebras, too, have mastered the art of unity. Their herds move as a single, pulsing entity, each individual attuned to the movements of its neighbors. In this living tapestry, safety lies in numbers. The iconic black and white stripes of the zebra are more than just striking. They are a masterstroke of nature's design. When the herd is at rest, the stripes blend together, making it difficult for predators to distinguish one animal from another. But it is when the herd moves that the true magic unfolds. The shifting mass of stripes creates a mesmerizing blur, a living illusion that confounds the eyes of stalking lions. In the chaos, the predator's focus falters and the herd escapes as one. This phenomenon, known as the dazzle effect, is a powerful passive defense. It is a testament to the ingenuity of group survival, where the collective becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Yet zebras are not merely passive. When threatened, they reveal a fierce side, ready to defend their own with astonishing force. If a predator manages to single out a member, the herd does not abandon it. Instead, they rally together, delivering powerful kicks that can shatter bone and drive even the boldest lion away. In these moments, the unity of the herd is both shield and sword. Constant vigilance is their creed. Each zebra is both guardian and ward, scanning the horizon for the slightest movement. Their survival depends on this unspoken pact, every eye watching, every ear listening, every heart beating in unison. The giraffe, towering above the sea of grass, brings a unique advantage to the community of grazers. With their lofty vantage point, giraffes serve as sentinels, their keen eyes sweeping the horizon for any sign of danger. Their presence is a silent reassurance to all who graze nearby. Other animals, from antelopes to zebras, have learned to trust the giraffe's alertness. When a giraffe suddenly freezes, head raised and ears pricked, the entire plain takes notice. In this way, the giraffe's vigilance becomes a shared resource, a gift to the wider community. But the giraffe's power is not limited to its height. Its long legs, graceful in movement, become devastating weapons when threatened. A single thunderous kick can break bones and end the charge of even the fiercest predator. In the face of danger, the giraffe stands tall, literally and figuratively, defending not just itself, but the next generation. Calves, fragile and new to the world, are sheltered beneath the watchful gaze of mothers and aunts. The herd forms a living shield, their bodies a promise of protection, their unity a lesson in survival. Among the most formidable of all herbivores is the Cape buffalo, whose reputation for strength and solidarity is legendary. With massive fused horns and a body built for battle, the Cape buffalo is both guardian and avenger. Their unpredictable nature and fierce loyalty have earned them the respect and fear of all who share the savanna. The herd is their fortress. In times of threat, they close ranks, presenting a wall of muscle and horn that few predators dare to breach. Each buffalo knows its place, and together they are unbreakable. When one of their own is attacked, The response is swift and merciless. The herd surges forward, a tidal wave of fury, driving off lions and even turning the tables on their would-be hunters. In these moments, the Cape buffalo's unity is a force to be reckoned with. This reputation for collective defense is so formidable that even the king of beasts approaches with caution. Lions, masters of the hunt, must weigh the cost of challenging such a united front. Across the savannah, the story's the same. Strength lies in unity. Whether it is the gentle touch of an elephant, the synchronized dash of zebras, the watchful gaze of a giraffe, or the unyielding wall of buffalo, these animals remind us that survival is not just about power, but about the bonds that hold a group together. In the wild, unity is the greatest strength of all. Each year, beneath the vast African sky, the savannah transforms into a living river of life and struggle. The Great Migration begins, a breathtaking, thunderous movement of millions of hooves, a spectacle unmatched anywhere on Earth. Wildebeest, zebras and gazelles surge forward in a swirling mass, their bodies pressed together, eyes wide with anticipation and fear. This is not a journey of leisure, but a desperate cyclical odyssey, nearly 2,000 miles of relentless movement, driven by the unyielding need for fresh grass and water. The land is harsh and unforgiving. Thirst cracks the earth and hunger gnaws at bellies. The herds press on, their senses sharpened by necessity, every step a gamble between hope and peril. They chase the promise of rain, following distant thunderheads across the horizon. The rhythm of the seasons is their only guide, leading them from the parched southern plains of the Serengeti to the emerald bounty of the Masai Mara, and then inevitably back again. Every mouthful of grass is hard-won. As the herds graze, unseen eyes watch from the shadows. The migration is the heartbeat of the savannah, shaping the land and feeding the hungry, herbivore and predator alike. Danger is ever present. The air is thick with tension, every rustle in the grass a potential threat. The animals move with caution, their bodies taut, nostrils flaring as they test the wind for the scent of death. In the tall grass, lions crouch low, muscles coiled like springs. Cheetahs, swift and silent, scan the herds for weakness. The predators are patient, their golden eyes fixed on the endless procession of prey. Lions, cheetahs, leopards and hyenas shadow the herds, their movements synchronized with the migration. They test the columns, probing for the frail, the injured, the newborn, those who cannot keep pace with the relentless march. The predators feast, their survival tied to the migration's rhythm. For every life lost, another is sustained, and the cycle of predator and prey continues, as ancient as the land itself. For the herbivores, there is no sanctuary. Even in moments of rest, their ears twitch and their eyes scan the horizon, ever vigilant, ever wary. They huddle together, moving as one, their unity their greatest defense. The landscape itself conspires against them. Thorny acacia, jagged rocks, and sudden ravines all threaten the unwary. The vastness of the herd offers some protection, but for the stragglers, those who falter or fall behind, the journey becomes a solitary struggle, and often a final one. The greatest trial awaits at the Mara River. Here the herds gather in trembling anticipation, the air thick with fear and urgency. The river is a churning gauntlet, its steep banks slick with mud, its waters swollen and wild. The animals hesitate, crowding at the edge, their instincts warring with their terror. The tension is palpable. A single leap can trigger a stampede, and suddenly the herd surges forward, driven by a force older than memory. With a thunder of hooves and a spray of water, they plunge into the river, chaos erupting as bodies collide and scramble for purchase against the current. The current is merciless, dragging the weak downstream. Panic spreads as animals fight to keep their heads above water, their calls echoing across the riverbanks. But the river hides more than swift water. Beneath the surface, ancient eyes watch, Nile crocodiles, silent and still, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. With explosive power, these reptilian giants lunge from the depths, their jaws snapping shut with bone-crushing force. The water churns red as the struggle for survival reaches its most brutal crescendo. The crossing is a maelstrom of fear and violence. Some animals are swept away, others trampled in the panic, and many fall prey to the crocodile's relentless assault. For countless wildebeest and zebras, the river is the end of the journey. Their bodies feed the river and its scavengers, their sacrifice woven into the fabric of the ecosystem. Yet for those who survive, the reward is profound. Exhausted and battered, they reach the far bank, greeted by a sea of green, the promise of life renewed, if only for a season. This perilous journey is more than a test of endurance. It is the engine of the savannah, sustaining predators, scavengers, and the very grasslands themselves. Every life lost, every victory shapes the world around them. The fallen nourish the river and its scavengers, vultures, hyenas, and countless others. The survivors, in their endless grazing, sculpt the land, ensuring that the cycle of life, death, and renewal will continue as it has for millennia across the wild heart of Africa. Far from the sun-baked plains of Africa, a world of stark, ethereal beauty stretches to the horizon. Antarctica, a realm sculpted by relentless cold and silence. Here the wind howls across endless fields of ice, carving patterns in the snow and shaping a landscape that is as unforgiving as it is mesmerizing. This is the driest, windiest, and highest continent on Earth, a vast frozen desert where the air itself seems to crackle with cold. Survival here is not just a challenge, it is a daily battle against the elements, demanding extraordinary adaptations from every creature that calls this place home. The animals of Antarctica are not merely survivors. They are the undisputed masters of cold, each one a living testament to nature's ingenuity. Their bodies are marvels of biological engineering, built to endure temperatures that can plummet to -70 degrees Fahrenheit, or about -57 degrees Celsius. Every breath they exhale crystallizes in the air, a fleeting ghost of warmth in a world ruled by ice. Insulation is their shield. Beneath thick skins, layers of blubber and dense feathers form barriers against the biting cold, locking in precious heat and keeping the chill at bay. Whales and seals glide through frigid waters, their bodies wrapped in thick, supple blubber, a living armor that not only insulates but also stores energy for the leanest, coldest months. Penguins, the iconic sentinels of the Antarctic, rely on a double defense, a layer of blubber beneath their skin and a dense, interlocking coat of waterproof feathers that shingle together, forming a nearly impenetrable barrier to wind and water. Each feather traps a pocket of air, creating a warm, insulating layer that shields the bird from the fiercest blizzards. Even as snow swirls and ice crystals sting, the penguin's core remains warm, protected by this ingenious, natural insulation. Among these remarkable creatures, the emperor penguin reigns supreme, a living symbol of Antarctic endurance and unity. Towering above all other penguin species, the emperor is built for survival. Its large size conserves heat, and its body is streamlined to minimize exposure to the wind's icy bite. But their greatest weapon is cooperation. When the Antarctic winter descends, bringing months of darkness and storms, emperor penguins gather by the thousands, forming a living fortress against the cold. In the heart of a blizzard, the colony becomes a single, shifting mass. Each bird presses close to its neighbors, sharing warmth and sheltering one another from the wind's relentless assault. Thermal energy radiates from the huddle's core, dramatically reducing heat loss for every individual. The outermost penguins, battered by the cold, slowly edge inward, while those warmed at the center take their turn on the perimeter, a seamless, silent ballet of survival. This constant rotation ensures that no penguin is left to face the elements alone for long. The choreography is instinctive, a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity. Through months of darkness, howling winds, and temperatures that would freeze exposed skin in moments, the emperor penguins endure. Together they become a living shield against the night. Beneath the ice, another world thrives. Seals, perfectly adapted to the Southern Ocean's icy embrace, slip through the water with effortless grace, their bodies sculpted for life in the coldest seas on Earth. The Weddell seal, a true master of the under-ice realm, navigates a labyrinth of frozen ceilings and shifting currents. With lungs adapted for deep dives, it plunges to depths exceeding 2,000 feet, holding its breath for over an hour as it hunts in the inky darkness for fish and squid. To survive the long frozen winter, Weddell seals maintain breathing holes in the sea ice, scraping at the edges with their teeth, a lifeline to the world above. Over time, this vital behavior wears down their teeth, a silent cost of survival in a world where every breath is hard-won. On the shores, the southern elephant seal, colossal and powerful, wages epic battles for dominance. Males, weighing up to 8,800 pounds, clash in displays of strength, their roars echoing across the ice. In the open ocean, the great whales reign as titans of the Antarctic. Their immense forms glide through the frigid waters, perfectly attuned to the rhythms of this frozen world. The blue whale, largest animal ever to have lived, cruises these nutrient-rich seas, feasting on vast swarms of krill that bloom beneath the ice. With a single mighty lunge, it engulfs thousands of gallons of water and krill, then strains the bounty through its baleen plates, a feeding strategy honed by millennia in the Antarctic's cold embrace. In a single day, a blue whale can consume up to 8,800 pounds of krill, fueling its colossal body for the long polar journey. Humpback whales fill the icy air with haunting songs and leap in acrobatic displays, while killer whales, apex predators of the South, hunt in coordinated packs, their intelligence and teamwork unrivaled in the ocean. All these marine giants share a common secret. Beneath their skin, thick layers of blubber insulate them from the cold, allowing life to flourish in a place where the ice never melts and the sun disappears for months at a time. In Antarctica, every adaptation is a story of survival, every heartbeat a triumph over the cold. In the frozen heart of Antarctica, where the wind howls and the sun disappears for months, a remarkable story of endurance unfolds, one that stands as a testament to the unyielding spirit of the animal kingdom. The reproductive cycle of the emperor penguin is, without question, one of the most heroic and demanding parental journeys in nature, a saga of survival and sacrifice that echoes through generations. It all begins at the onset of the Antarctic winter, the harshest season on the planet, when the world is locked in ice and darkness reigns supreme. As other creatures retreat from the advancing sea ice and the encroaching night, emperor penguins embark on an epic march inland, up to 75 miles, driven by instinct and the promise of new life. They journey together, braving blizzards and biting cold, to reach their ancestral breeding grounds on the stable pack ice. In the coldest, darkest months of the year, the female lays a single precious egg, a fragile vessel of hope in a world of ice. Exhausted from her journey and the act of laying, the female must immediately return to the distant sea to feed and regain her strength, entrusting the future of her lineage to her mate. The male is left with a monumental task: to guard and nurture the egg alone in the face of unimaginable adversity. For the next 2 months, the male emperor penguin stands as a sentinel of life, enduring a relentless test of survival and devotion. He does not eat, relying solely on his fat reserves as he faces the full fury of the Antarctic winter. With unwavering focus, he balances the egg on his feet, sheltering it beneath a featherless patch of skin called a brood pouch, a living incubator that shields the fragile egg from the deadly cold. Within this pouch, the egg is kept at a constant, life-giving warmth of 88 degrees Fahrenheit or 31 degrees Celsius, even as the world outside plunges to temperatures that would freeze most life in an instant. The male endures hunger and exhaustion, his body growing thinner with each passing day, yet his resolve never wavers. He stands steadfast in the blizzards and perpetual darkness, a living beacon of endurance, surviving on nothing but determination and the reserves he built up in the months before. To withstand the relentless cold, the males huddle together, forming a living fortress against the elements. In this unity they share warmth and shield their precious eggs, a collective act of survival that has been perfected over countless generations. As the long winter wanes and the chicks are ready to hatch, the females return from the sea, bellies full of nourishment gathered from the ocean's bounty, fish, squid, and krill. Amidst thousands of nearly identical males, each female finds her mate by the unique call they share, a bond forged in the wild, a testament to the power of connection in the animal world. The timing of this reunion is everything. The male, now gaunt and weary, carefully transfers the newly hatched chick to the mother, his duty fulfilled through sheer will and love. The female, having braved the dangers of the sea, feeds the chick its first meal, regurgitating the life-sustaining food she has carried across the frozen expanse. With the chick now safe in the mother's care, the starving male begins his own arduous journey back to the ocean, driven by the hope of survival and the promise of another season. This extraordinary exchange of duties is a masterpiece of coordination and trust, a partnership forged in the crucible of the world's harshest environment, where every act of care is a triumph over adversity. As the chicks grow, both parents take turns, venturing to the sea, diving into the icy depths to hunt for food. Each journey is a test of endurance, a race against time and the elements. The young chicks, left behind, huddle together in creches, tight-knit groups that offer warmth and safety, a living legacy of cooperation and resilience. Yet even in these groups, danger lurks. The chicks remain vulnerable to the cold and to ever-watchful predators like the giant petrel, a reminder that survival is never guaranteed. The parents work tirelessly, braving the melting sea ice and the shifting seasons, to provide enough food for their rapidly growing young before the colony must disperse with the arrival of summer. Only about half of the chicks will survive their first year, a stark, sobering truth that underscores the immense challenges of life in this frozen wilderness. But those who do endure carry forward the legacy of their kind, shaped by the trials of their earliest days. The emperor penguin's story is one of profound sacrifice, astonishing endurance, and unwavering devotion, a living symbol of the animal kingdom's relentless will to survive, and the enduring legacy passed from one generation to the next. In the heart of Antarctica, endurance is not just a trait, it is a legacy, written in the ice and carried on the wings of every new life. Beneath the frozen surface of the Antarctic, a world of shadows and silence conceals some of the planet's most relentless hunters. Here, survival is a game of patience, power, and cunning. At the pinnacle of this icy realm is the leopard seal, a solitary predator gliding through the frigid water with barely a ripple to betray its presence. Its long, muscular body, cloaked in dappled fur, blends seamlessly with the shifting light below the ice. The leopard seal is a master of stealth, able to vanish into the gloom with a flick of its tail. It waits, motionless, beneath the jagged edge of an ice floe. Above, penguins gather, unaware of the danger lurking just below. The seal's eyes track every movement, calculating the perfect moment to strike. Suddenly, with explosive speed, the leopard seal surges upward. Its jaws snap shut around its prey in a blur of motion, swift, brutal, and final. The seal's hunting is a spectacle of raw power. It patrols the ice edge, head breaking the surface, then launches itself with astonishing force, seizing a penguin in a single crushing bite. But the leopard seal is not a specialist. Its menu is as varied as the ocean itself, fish darting through the kelp, squid twisting in the dark, and even the young of other seals all fall victim to its relentless appetite. Yet in these waters, another hunter commands even greater fear, the killer whale or orca, a predator whose intelligence is matched only by its power. Orcas move as a unit, a family pod bound by intricate bonds and a shared purpose. Their hunting is a ballet of strategy and communication, each member playing a role in the unfolding drama. Within these pods, knowledge is passed from one generation to the next, tactics refined over decades, secrets whispered beneath the waves. Some pods become specialists, honing their skills to hunt a single type of prey, seals, fish, or even the swift penguin, each requiring a unique approach. In the Antarctic, a remarkable spectacle unfolds, wave washing. The orcas spot a seal perched on a floating slab of ice, safe, so it seems, from the dangers below. The pod assembles, aligning themselves in perfect formation. With synchronized strokes they surge forward, building momentum as they close in on the ice. At the last instant, they dive, sending a rolling wave crashing over the floe. The seal, swept from its refuge, is plunged into the water, straight into the jaws of waiting orcas. This is hunting elevated to an art form, cooperation, timing, and intelligence converging in a display of predatory mastery rarely seen in nature. In this frozen world, every predator has its place. The leopard seal, a solitary shadow, the orca, a symphony of teamwork, each adapted to the challenges of the Southern Ocean. Together, they shape the balance of life, their actions echoing through the ecosystem, ensuring that only the most vigilant and resilient survive. The weak and unwary fall to their silent pursuit, while the strong endure, passing on their strength to the next generation. This relentless cycle of predation and survival forges a population of hardy survivors, each generation more attuned to the perils of their world. The presence of these apex predators is a testament to the health of the Southern Ocean, a living, breathing system where every creature plays its part. Even the giants of the deep, the blue whale and the humpback, are woven into this tapestry of life, their immense forms gliding through the frigid sea. These gentle titans are hunters of a different kind, filtering clouds of krill from the water with each colossal mouthful. Krill, tiny yet vital, swarm in vast numbers, forming the foundation of the Antarctic food web, sustaining everything from penguins to whales. As the whales feast, they shape the fate of millions, their hunger driving the endless cycle of life and death beneath the ice. Their journey does not end with the hunt. Through their waste, they return life-giving nutrients to the sea, fueling blooms of microscopic plants. These phytoplankton, nourished by the giants above, feed the krill below, completing the circle of life in the Southern Ocean. In this realm of ice and shadow, every hunter, every prey, and every breath is part of a grand, suspenseful story, a story of survival written in the silent depths of the Southern Ocean. In the heart of the African savanna, herds of elephants move cautiously across the golden grasslands, their ancient migratory paths now interrupted by invisible boundaries. In the frozen silence of Antarctica, emperor penguins huddle together, bracing against biting winds, their world of ice shifting beneath their feet. Both realms, though seemingly untouched, are now gripped by forces they cannot see, forces that threaten their very existence. The challenges these animals face are no longer the age-old struggles of predator and prey. Instead, they are confronted by changes in their environment that arrive with the seasons, but do not leave when the rains return or the snows melt. In Africa, the most immediate threat is the vanishing of their home. Waterholes that once teemed with life now shrink and disappear, leaving elephants, zebras, and antelope to wander farther in search of precious water. As the land dries and the grasslands recede, the animals are forced into ever smaller pockets of wilderness, their ancient territories shrinking with each passing year. The once unbroken expanse of the savanna is now a patchwork, isolating herds and breaking the bonds that have held these animal communities together for generations. Corridors that once allowed wildebeest to migrate in their millions, or elephants to find new feeding grounds, are now cut off. Populations become isolated, their numbers dwindling, their genetic strength fading, leaving them more vulnerable to disease and the harsh whims of nature. As space and resources dwindle, tension rises. Predators and prey are forced into closer quarters, and the delicate balance of the savanna is thrown into chaos. Encounters between species become more frequent and fraught, with every animal on edge, every movement a matter of survival. Lions and hyenas, desperate for food, stalk weakened herds. Elephants, driven by hunger, risk venturing into unfamiliar territory, sometimes with tragic consequences. The threat of death lingers in the air, not from the hunt, but from the silent disappearance of companions. Giants felled for their tusks, predators vanished for their skins, leaving behind only echoes in the grass. Elephants, once rulers of the plains, now move with caution, their numbers thinned by unseen dangers. Leopards and cheetahs, their coats gleaming in the sun, are hunted not for food, but for the beauty of their skin. Even as some animals are protected, the loss of their kin and the emptiness of the land weigh heavily, disrupting the ancient rhythms of life that have endured for millennia. Far to the south, in the icy expanse of Antarctica, the threats are less visible but just as dire. Here, the world is changing, not with the roar of engines, but with the slow, relentless melt of ice. Climate change is the silent predator, gnawing away at the frozen continent. Each year the ice forms later and melts sooner, leaving less time for life to flourish. The vast ice sheets, once unyielding, now fracture and dissolve, their ancient strength no match for the warming world. For emperor penguins, the loss of stable sea ice is a catastrophe. Their entire lives revolve around this frozen platform, where they breed, raise their young, and shelter from the storm. When the ice is strong, penguin families thrive, chicks huddling close to their parents, safe from the bitter cold. But if the ice breaks too soon, the chicks are lost to the freezing waters, their calls fading into the wind. A single season of failed breeding can echo for generations. Beneath the ice, krill, tiny, vital creatures, depend on the shelter and food the sea ice provides. Their fate is tied to the ice above, and with its loss, their numbers dwindle. Every animal in Antarctica, from the smallest penguin chick to the largest whale, relies on krill. A decline in krill ripples through the food web, leaving hunger and emptiness in its wake. Even the purest waters are not immune. The Southern Ocean, once a sanctuary, now faces threats that drift in on unseen currents, changing the chemistry of life itself. Tiny particles, invisible to the eye, find their way into the food chain, affecting creatures great and small, from krill to seals to the mighty whales. The pressure on krill grows, not just from the changing ice, but from the relentless demands of the ecosystem itself. Every mouthful taken by a penguin or a whale is a race against scarcity. As krill become scarce, penguin chicks wait hungrily for parents who return with empty beaks, seals search longer for a meal, and whales travel farther through the empty blue. The collapse of the krill population would echo across the continent, leaving rookeries empty, chicks starving, and the great whales gliding through silent, lifeless seas. The future of these wild worlds hangs in the balance, their fate written in the ice and the grass, in the silent struggles of the animals who call them home. Their survival depends on the resilience of nature itself, and the hope that these ancient lands will endure for generations yet to come. Across the vast African savanna, the stories of survival are written in every sunrise and every footstep of its wild inhabitants. In the frozen expanse of Antarctica, life persists against all odds, a testament to the planet's astonishing biodiversity and the resilience of nature itself. These wild places, though separated by continents and climate, are bound by the delicate threads of their ecosystems. Herds of wildebeest thunder across the plains, their migration breathing new life into the grasslands, while predators and scavengers follow, each playing a vital role in the cycle of renewal. In Antarctica, the shifting ice and the rhythm of the seasons shape the lives of emperor penguins and seals, who endure the harshest winters and celebrate the return of the sun with new generations. The animals of these realms are not only survivors, they are architects of recovery and hope. Elephant families nurture their young, teaching them the ancient paths to water and safety. Rhinos graze alongside birds, their presence shaping the land and fostering a web of life that flourishes in their wake. Every animal, from the smallest insect to the mightiest predator, contributes to the healing of the wild. When left undisturbed, grasslands regenerate, rivers run clear, and forests reclaim their strength. Young animals grow strong, learning the ways of their ancestors, their playful energy a promise of the future. The wild, given time and space, reveals a remarkable ability to recover. In Africa, the creation of wildlife corridors has allowed herds to reconnect with ancient migratory routes, enabling elephants and antelope to traverse vast distances, restoring balance to the land and reviving forgotten habitats. As animals reclaim their territories, the land itself transforms. Grass grows taller, trees spread their shade, and waterholes brim with life. The return of keystone species sparks a cascade of renewal as predators and prey find their place in the intricate dance of survival. The wild, once threatened, begins to heal itself. The resilience of these animals is a beacon of hope, showing that with protection and patience, nature can rebound from even the gravest challenges. In Antarctica, the vast ice sheets and frigid waters shelter a world of astonishing life, where emperor penguins huddle for warmth and seals glide beneath the frozen surface, thriving in a realm untouched by time. The Ross Sea, now a sanctuary for marine life, teems with krill, fish and whales, each species playing a part in the ocean's recovery. Here, the absence of disturbance allows life to flourish in abundance. Yet the greatest challenge remains the warming of the planet. The fate of the emperor penguin and the entire Antarctic food web depends on the preservation of the ice that sustains them. Still, the penguins endure, adapting to shifting conditions, their colonies a symbol of perseverance and hope for the future. Ultimately, the survival of the animals in both the African savanna and Antarctica is a testament to the power of nature's resilience. The wild endures, and with every new birth, every migration, every recovery, it writes a story of hope. Our planet is a living tapestry, woven together by the journeys of animals and the cycles of the seasons. The choices made in the wild by elephants, penguins, and every creature in between shape the destiny of the earth. As dawn breaks over untouched wilderness, the world is filled with the promise of renewal. The wild, when given the chance, will always find a way to heal. The resilience of animals and the recovery of nature inspire us to believe in a future where Earth's last wilds remain vibrant and free. In their survival, we find hope for our own. For as long as the wild endures, so too does the spirit of life on Earth, undaunted, ever-renewing, and filled with hope. Across continents and oceans, the pulse of the planet is set in motion by the world's most epic animal migrations. Each year, millions of creatures embark on journeys that span thousands of miles, driven by ancient instincts, shifting seasons, and the relentless pursuit of survival. Beneath the golden haze of the Serengeti, a living river of wildebeest and zebra surges forward, hooves pounding the earth in a thunderous chorus. They cross vast plains and swollen rivers, braving crocodile-infested waters and prowling predators. Alongside them, gazelles leap and sprint, weaving through the herd, guided by the promise of fresh grass and nourishing rain. The journey is perilous, every crossing a test of endurance, every step a battle for life. In the skies above, the Arctic tern embarks on the longest migration of any animal on Earth. With wings outstretched, it chases the sun from the frozen Arctic to the wind-swept Antarctic, crossing entire oceans in a single unbroken flight. Driven by the rhythm of light and dark, these tireless travelers navigate by the stars and the magnetic field of the planet, connecting the poles in a feat of endurance unmatched in the animal kingdom. Beneath the waves, the great whales set forth on their own odysseys. Humpback mothers and calves glide through the azure expanse, singing haunting songs that echo across the deep. From the nutrient-rich waters of polar feeding grounds to the warm, sheltered bays of the tropics, their migration is a journey of both survival and renewal, a cycle as old as the sea itself. Even the smallest creatures play their part. Monarch butterflies, fragile and delicate, flutter across North America in a mass exodus guided by invisible currents of wind and instinct. Their wings paint the sky with orange and black as they traverse mountains, deserts, and forests, each generation continuing the journey begun by their ancestors. The challenges faced by these travelers are immense. Storms rage, predators lie in wait, and barriers both natural and unforgiving test every instinct. Herds must choose their paths wisely, timing their movements with the rains and the growth of grass. Birds must ride the winds, conserving energy across vast empty skies. Whales must navigate by memory, returning to the same distant shores each year. Yet, within these migrations lies a profound strategy, a choreography shaped by evolution and necessity. Every animal, from the mightiest wildebeest to the tiniest butterfly, knows its role in the grand design. Their journeys replenish ecosystems, spread seeds across continents, and sustain entire webs of life in their wake. As dusk falls and the world quiets, these migrations continue, a testament to the untamed spirit of the wild. Across every continent, the great movements of animals tell a story of courage, unity, and the enduring power of nature. In their passage, the land is renewed, the seas are enriched, and the sky is filled with the flutter of wings. The spectacle of migration is a reminder that, even in the face of adversity, life finds a way to move forward. Undaunted, ever-seeking, and forever wondrous. As the sun dips below the horizon and the world is cloaked in darkness, a hidden realm awakens. In the quiet hush of night, the shadows come alive with creatures perfectly adapted to thrive when the rest of the world sleeps. The night belongs to the nocturnal, masters of the dark, whose senses and strategies have been shaped by the absence of light. In the dense undergrowth of the rainforest, the slow, deliberate movements of a jaguar are barely perceptible. Its rosette-patterned coat melts into the darkness, and its golden eyes pierce the blackness, reflecting the faintest glimmer of moonlight. With acute hearing and a nose attuned to the subtlest sense, the jaguar stalks silently, each step calculated, each breath measured. The jungle is its domain, and the night its greatest ally. Above, the air stirs with the silent flight of an owl. Its wings, fringed with velvety feathers, cut through the night without a whisper. The owl's round face acts as a satellite dish, funneling even the slightest rustle of a mouse in the grass below. With a sudden swoop, it descends, talons outstretched, seizing its prey before vanishing back into the darkness. Elsewhere, the desert comes alive with a different cast of characters. Tiny fennec foxes emerge from their burrows, their oversized ears swiveling to catch the faintest sounds. An insect's scuttle, a lizard's footfall. Their pale fur reflects the moon's light, keeping them cool as they dart across the sand in search of food. In the cool night air, their world is one of subtle scents and soft footfalls, every sense heightened for survival. In the forests, the fireflies' glow punctuates the gloom. Like living lanterns, they blink in intricate patterns, silent signals in the dark. For these bioluminescent insects, the night is a stage for courtship, their lights painting invisible trails as they search for mates. Beneath the surface of a moonlit pond, amphibians begin their serenade. Frogs and toads call out, their croaks and trills weaving together in a chorus that fills the night air. Hidden among reeds, their skin absorbs the cool humidity, and their eyes, wide and unblinking, watch for both prey and predator, Even the smallest dwellers play their part. Moths, drawn by the pale glow of the moon, flutter from flower to flower, pollinating under the cover of darkness. Bats emerge from their roosts, weaving through the trees in pursuit of insects. With echolocation, they map their world in sound, navigating with precision that rivals the keenest eyesight. In the world of perpetual night, every adaptation is a masterpiece. Eyes grow larger, tuned to the faintest starlight. Whiskers sense the softest vibrations. Ears stretch wide, gathering every whisper of movement. Camouflage deepens, and silence becomes the greatest defense. Within these nocturnal hours, life is a delicate dance. Predators and prey, hunters and hunted, all moving in a symphony of survival. They cross paths in the darkness, their stories unfolding in secret, unseen by the day, and as dawn approaches, the night's denizens slip away, leaving only traces of their passage, a footprint in the dew, a feather on the forest floor. The secret lives of nocturnal animals remind us that the world does not sleep. In the darkness, life continues, adaptable, ingenious, and endlessly resilient. In the realm of shadows, nature's creativity shines brightest, revealing a world of wonder that waits just beyond the reach of daylight. Across the globe, a timeless drama unfolds, a dance of survival between predator and prey. In every ecosystem, from the sweeping plains to dense forests and coral reefs, intricate strategies and counter-strategies shape the destinies of countless lives. Here, every sense is sharpened, every movement calculated, as nature's most ancient rivalry plays out. On the African savanna, a herd of impalas grazes beneath the watchful gaze of a lioness hidden in the tall grass. She remains motionless, her tawny coat blending seamlessly with the golden landscape. The impalas, ever alert, flick their ears and sniff the wind, forming a living network of vigilance. One sudden movement, a twitch of muscle, and the herd erupts, bounding in zigzag patterns, each leap unpredictable, designed to throw off the predator's pursuit. The lioness gives chase, but only the most cunning and swift will succeed, and only the most alert will escape. In the Arctic tundra, a snowy owl scans the white expanse for movement. Beneath the snow, a lemming tunnels unseen, its world a labyrinth of narrow passages. The owl's hearing is so acute it can detect the faintest rustle, even under a blanket of ice. With silent wings, it swoops down, talons outstretched, striking with precision. Yet for every successful hunt, countless lemmings survive by freezing in place, blending into the snow, or darting through hidden tunnels. Beneath the waves, a coral reef teems with life and danger. Schools of fish move in perfect synchrony, flashing silver as they twist and turn, confusing would-be hunters like the barracuda lurking nearby. This living shield, safety in numbers, makes it nearly impossible for a predator to isolate a single target. Meanwhile, octopuses melt into the background, shifting colors and textures with astonishing speed, vanishing from sight or imitating rocks and corals to evade detection. In the dense rainforest, a praying mantis sways gently, mimicking the movement of leaves in the breeze. It waits patiently, forelegs poised, for an unsuspecting insect to venture too close. Yet even here, survival is a game of wits. Butterflies and moths, their wings patterned with false eyes or startling flashes of color, startle attackers long enough to make their escape. Underground, the battle continues. A mole rat navigates its tunnels by touch and scent, always wary of the snake that can follow its trail. Above ground, a rabbit freezes at the shadow of a hawk, its body pressed low against the earth, heart pounding but utterly still, trusting in invisibility. Every encounter is a contest of adaptation, camouflage, speed, deception, and teamwork. These are the tools of survival. Predators hone their skills with patience, stealth, and bursts of power. Prey develop vigilance, agility, and collective defense. Each side evolves in response to the other, shaping bodies and minds across generations. This eternal dance is not merely about victory or defeat, but balance. The fate of entire ecosystems depends on the delicate interplay between hunter and hunted. It is a cycle of challenge and response, a testament to resilience and ingenuity. In the wild, survival is never guaranteed, but every life is shaped by the struggle and the beauty of the chase. In the end, the predator and the prey are bound together, each pushing the other to greater heights of adaptation. Their dynamic shapes the living world, forging the delicate patterns that sustain life on Earth. In the heart of every wilderness, a silent conversation unfolds, a language as intricate as any spoken word. Animals, though voiceless to our ears, are master communicators, weaving a tapestry of signals, sounds, and movements that shape the rhythm of life. At dawn, the rainforest awakens with a chorus of calls. Gibbons swing through the canopy, their haunting whoops echoing for miles, each note a declaration of territory and a call to family. Nearby, a poison dart frog inflates its throat, releasing a rapid trill that pierces the humid air. This simple song warns rivals to stay away and attracts a mate drawn to its vibrant cadence. On the African plains, elephants rumble in low frequencies that travel through the ground, vibrations felt by distant herds across vast distances. With each seismic signal, they share news of water, danger, or the arrival of a newborn. Conversations hidden beneath the earth. In the ocean's blue expanse, humpback whales compose elaborate songs, their melodies changing with the seasons. Each haunting phrase carries meaning, identity, intent, even emotion, shared across thousands of miles beneath the waves. Dolphins, too, click and whistle, each sound a unique signature, a name recognized by others in their pod. Sometimes silence speaks loudest. A wolf raises its tail, a subtle shift signaling dominance or warning. In a field of wildflowers, a honeybee dances in looping patterns, its movements mapping the precise direction and distance to a hidden nectar source. Each waggle, a coded message, guides the hive to sustenance. Colors become words in nature's dialogue. The peacock fans its iridescent tail, each shimmering eye spot a boast of health and vitality. Poisonous frogs flash bright hues, a warning to would-be predators. Stay away, I am dangerous. Chameleons shift their shades, signaling mood, intent, and even submission to rivals. In the Arctic, a mother polar bear nuzzles her cub, a gentle touch that reassures and bonds. Prairie dogs chirp in complex alarm calls, distinguishing a soaring hawk from a stalking coyote, each sound a lifeline for the colony. Every gesture, every flash of color or flick of an ear is a fragment of an ancient language. Through these secret conversations, animals court, defend, warn, and unite. The wild is alive with meaning. If only we listen closely to the whispers carried on the wind, the songs beneath the waves, and the silent signals written in every movement. In nature's world, communication is survival. And in the endless dialogue of the wild, every creature has a voice. As the climate shifts and the world grows warmer, the wild is not silent. Across continents and oceans, animals are writing new chapters in the story of survival, adapting with resilience to an environment in flux. In the high Arctic, the polar bear treads new paths across thinning ice, its powerful limbs now carrying it farther in search of seals. Where the ice once stretched unbroken, the bear swims longer, farther, pushing the limits of endurance as it navigates a fractured world. Each journey is a lesson in adaptation, as mothers teach their cubs to read the changing landscape, to hunt where prey may be found in unfamiliar places. On the African savanna, elephants sense the shifting rains. Their ancient migratory routes, passed down through generations, now bend and twist as waterholes dry and grasses wither. Matriarchs lead their herds on longer treks, guided by memory and instinct, their trunks lifted to catch the scent of distant storms. Calves learn to follow, to adapt, to survive in a land remade by drought. In the coral reefs, vibrant schools of fish weave among the bleached skeletons of once lush corals. Some species shift their territories, seeking cooler currents and deeper waters. Parrotfish graze resilient algae, helping new corals take root. Tiny gobies, once loyal to a single coral head, now dart between many, hedging their bets as the seascape transforms. Each change is a gamble, a hope for survival as the ocean warms. In the boreal forests, red foxes expand northward, following the retreating snow. Their russet fur stands out against the white, a bold statement in a land where the Arctic fox once reigned. The Arctic fox, too, adapts, seeking higher ground, shifting its diet, raising its kits in burrows dug deeper for warmth and safety. Mountain pika, tiny sentinels of the alpine, respond to rising temperatures by climbing ever higher. Their calls echo among the rocks as they gather grasses, storing food for winters that grow shorter and less predictable. Each generation learns anew how to survive on the edge of the sky. In the wetlands, migratory birds alter their ancient calendars. The Arctic tern, master of the world's longest migration, adjusts its route, chasing the cool winds that guide it from pole to pole. Warblers and geese arrive earlier, nest sooner, their songs marking the rhythm of a changing spring. Chicks hatch in sync with the new abundance, the rhythm of life recalibrated for an altered world. Even the smallest creatures adapt. Butterflies shift their ranges, following the bloom of wildflowers to higher altitudes and cooler climes. Amphibians, sensitive to every change in moisture and heat, lay their eggs in new pools, their survival a delicate dance with the rains. In every corner of the wild, nature responds, not with defeat, but with determination. The dance of adaptation is relentless, shaped by ancient instincts and newfound resilience. For every challenge, a new solution emerges. For every change, a new way forward. In this era of uncertainty, the wild endures, evolving, adjusting, surviving. Nature's resilience is a testament to the power of life itself, and as the world transforms, the story of adaptation continues, written in every paw print, every wing beat, and every silent step across the changing earth. Hidden in the heart of untouched wilderness, the animal kingdom reveals its most astonishing engineers, creatures whose lives are shaped by the structures they build. From towering mounds to intricate webs, these architects of the wild transform the landscape, crafting homes, fortresses, and masterpieces of survival, all without blueprint or tool. Deep within the forest, the tiny harvest mouse begins its work. With delicate precision, it weaves blades of grass and slender reeds, curling them into a perfectly spherical nest suspended between tall stalks. Each strand is chosen, bent and anchored, creating a cradle that sways gently in the breeze, safe from ground predators and hidden from sharp-eyed hawks above. Inside, the mother mouse tucks her young, their first days spent in a shelter as intricate as any woven basket. Beneath the frozen tundra, the Arctic fox is hard at work. Its burrow, dug deep into the permafrost, is a sprawling labyrinth of tunnels and chambers. Here the family finds refuge from winter's fury, the earth itself insulating against the howling winds. Each passage is carefully placed, some for sleeping, others for storing food, and a few as secret escape routes. Generation after generation, these burrows expand, becoming underground cities that shelter not just foxes, but a host of other creatures seeking warmth and safety. In the wetlands, a beaver transforms its world. With powerful jaws, it fells trees and drags branches, assembling a dam across the flowing stream. The structure rises log by log, mud and stones wedged into every gap. Water pools behind the dam, flooding the banks and creating a tranquil pond. In the center, the beaver's lodge stands, a fortress of sticks and mud, its underwater entrance hidden from predators. Inside, a dry chamber glows with the warmth of gathered wood shavings, the heart of a thriving family. The beaver's handiwork shapes the entire ecosystem, turning forest to wetland, creating new habitats for fish, frogs, and birds. High in the canopy, the weaver bird displays its artistry. With nimble beak and tireless energy, it gathers grass and palm strips, knotting them into a hanging nest that sways from the branches. The entrance faces downward, a clever design to ward off snakes and rain. As sunlight filters through the leaves, dozens of these nests dangle in a living tapestry, a village in the trees, each home a testament to skill and patience. Beneath the waves, the pufferfish becomes an artist on the ocean floor. With fins and body, it sculpts perfect circles in the sand, etching intricate ridges and valleys in mesmerizing patterns. These underwater mandalas are more than art. They are invitations designed to attract a mate. Each swirl and groove tells a story of strength, creativity, and the drive to build a legacy beneath the tides. And in the shadows, the trapdoor spider is a silent builder. It digs a burrow, lines it with silk, and crafts a hinged door of soil and leaves. Perfectly camouflaged, the door snaps shut at the slightest disturbance, hiding the spider from both predator and prey. Here, in darkness, the spider waits, its home a marvel of stealth and survival. Across every habitat, animal architects shape the world around them. Their creations are shelters and sanctuaries, fortresses and traps, each tailored to the challenges of their environment. These structures are more than just homes. They are legacies passed down through instinct and innovation. In every nest and dam, every burrow and web, the ingenuity of the wild is on display, a silent testament to the creativity woven into the fabric of life itself. Beneath the shimmering surface, a hidden universe unfolds, a realm where sunlight dances in shafts and shadows drift across a mosaic of coral and kelp. Here, in the living labyrinth of underwater ecosystems, life thrives in forms both familiar and fantastical. Within the coral reef, every crevice teems with activity. Tiny gobies dart in and out of branching corals, their scales flashing electric blue as they evade the watchful eyes of lurking moray eels. Cleaner shrimp wave their antennae, beckoning passing fish to stop for a meticulous grooming. Parrotfish graze on algae, their beaks scraping at the calcium skeletons of coral, shaping the very structure they call home. Predators prowl in patient silence. A camouflaged octopus slides across the sandy bottom, its skin shifting hues and textures to vanish against rock and weed. When a careless crab scuttles too close, the octopus springs, a flash of tentacles, a cloud of ink, a meal secured before the sand has settled. Above the reef, a swirling ballet unfolds. Schools of silver-side fish twist in perfect unison, their collective movement a living shield against marauding barracuda. The barracuda charges, scattering the school in a burst of silver lightning, but only the slowest fall behind. The rest regroup, drawn back together by the invisible thread of survival. In the kelp forests, sunlight filters through swaying fronds, casting emerald shadows on the forest floor. Sea otters float among the tangle, using stones to crack open shellfish resting on their bellies. Nearby, an army of sea urchins grazes on the kelp's roots, their purple spines bristling with caution. Too many urchins and the forest withers, but the otters keep the balance, guardians of this underwater woodland. Deeper still, where darkness reigns, strange alliances form. Lanternfish drift in the twilight, their bodies glowing with bioluminescence, signaling to mates and warning rivals in a language of light. Giant isopods scavenge the seafloor, cleaning up what the predators leave behind. Here, survival depends on adaptation, on light that lures, on camouflage that conceals, on jaws that snap in the blink of an eye. Even the tiniest creatures play their part. Plankton swirl in endless currents, drifting with the tides, feeding the multitudes above. Jellyfish trail delicate tentacles, capturing unsuspecting prey in a silent embrace. In every drop of water, life pulses, predators and prey, builders and cleaners, each one connected in a web as intricate as any spun on land. This is a world where the rules of survival are written in color and movement, in patience and speed, in cooperation and competition. The underwater labyrinth is ancient, complex, and ever-changing, a testament to nature's boundless creativity, hidden just beneath the waves. In the heart of the wild, survival is not just a personal journey, it is a legacy carried forward through the art of parenting. Across the globe, animal parents employ ingenious strategies, each tailored to give their offspring the best chance at life. On the windswept cliffs, the albatross exemplifies patience and devotion. A single precious egg is laid, and for months both parents take turns braving the storms and open sea, returning with food stored deep within their bellies. For the chick, every meal is a lifeline. For the parent, every journey is a test of endurance. Deep within the rainforest, the poison dart frog chooses a different path. The mother carefully transports each tadpole, one by one, on her back, depositing them in tiny pools held within bromeliad leaves. She returns again and again, laying unfertilized eggs as nourishment for her young, an act of selfless care in a world full of danger. On the African savanna, the elephant herd becomes a fortress of family. Calves are surrounded by mothers, aunts, and older sisters, each one vigilant, each one ready to defend. When predators draw near, the adults form a living wall. Their trumpeting calls and powerful trunks a warning to all who threaten their young. Beneath the Arctic ice, emperor penguins endure the harshest winter on Earth. The male balances a fragile egg atop his feet, sheltering it with a fold of feathered skin, while the female braves the frozen sea in search of food. For weeks the colony huddles together, sharing warmth in the biting cold, each father a steadfast guardian of new life. In the tangled branches of the mangrove, crocodile mothers display a gentler side. As their eggs hatch, she carefully carries the tiny hatchlings in her massive jaws, ferrying them to the safety of water. Even then, she remains close, fiercely protective until her young are ready to face the world alone. But the wild is always testing. Some young are born into peril, their only defense a parent's vigilance, or their own ability to hide, run, or mimic. The mimic octopus, newly hatched, must instantly master the art of disguise, shifting shape and color to evade hungry eyes. In the grasslands, gazelle fawns lie motionless, their spotted coats blending perfectly with the sun-dappled earth as mothers graze nearby, ever watchful. For every species, the challenge is the same: to protect, to teach, to nurture in a world that offers no guarantees. Some parents give everything, while others trust their young to the wind and tide, hoping instinct will see them through. These are the guardians of the wild, creatures whose devotion rivals the forces of nature itself. Their stories are written in patience, sacrifice, and the fierce determination to see the next generation thrive. In every corner of the natural world, the journey of life begins with a parent's promise to give their young a fighting chance, no matter the odds. In the wild, survival is not just a matter of strength or speed. Sometimes it is the sharpness of the mind that tips the balance between life and death. Across the planet, animals display remarkable intelligence, creativity, and the capacity to learn, traits that often remain hidden, revealed only in the moments when adaptation is most needed. On a remote Pacific shore, a clever octopus emerges from its den. With nimble arms, it gathers coconut shells discarded by the tide, fitting them together to form a mobile fortress. When danger approaches, the octopus retreats inside, transforming found objects into armor, proof that the ocean's most enigmatic creatures are also among its most inventive. In the African savanna, a troop of baboons faces a puzzle, a patch of honeycomb dangling from a thorny acacia, guarded by swarming bees. The boldest baboon studies the situation, then rubs mud on its face and hands, a natural shield against stings. Others watch and learn, soon mimicking the behavior. Here, knowledge is passed not by instinct but by observation and imitation, a lesson in the power of social learning. High in the rainforest canopy, a young parrot investigates a hard-shelled nut. With its powerful beak, it tests, twists, and finally wedges the nut into a crevice. Using a stick, it pries open the shell, revealing the hidden prize. For the parrot, tools are not just for play, they are keys to unlocking new possibilities. In the Arctic, a red fox listens intently beneath the snow. It tilts its head, calculating the precise location of a burrowing vole. Then, with a leap, it breaks through the icy crust, landing with pinpoint accuracy. This is not luck, but a mastery of physics, an acute sense of hearing combined with instinctive geometry, honed through countless attempts and failures. Under the moonlit jungle, a group of crows gathers around a shallow pool. One drops pebbles into the water, raising the level until a floating insect is within reach. Others join in, each learning from the last. This is the Aesop's fable come to life, a testament to memory, reasoning, and the ability to solve problems together. Even in the deserts, intelligence thrives. Meerkats, faced with the threat of venomous scorpions, teach their pups to hunt safely. An elder disables the stinger, then presents the prey to a youngster, guiding it through trial and error. Here, knowledge is not just inherited, it is taught, refined, and practiced with patience. From the forests to the oceans, the wild is a living classroom. Mistakes become lessons, triumphs become traditions. Through mimicry, experimentation, and shared discovery, animals adapt to ever-changing challenges, revealing minds as complex and dynamic as any landscape. In these moments, the boundaries between instinct and intellect blur. Every puzzle solved, every skill learned, is another chapter in the ongoing story of animal intelligence, a story written in the language of curiosity, persistence, and the relentless drive to survive. The wild is not just a place of tooth and claw, but of minds at work quietly shaping the future, one brilliant idea at a time.